Right, this is my second bloody take at this video now. If you've seen any of my other videos, then you know I don't really do any video editing whatsoever, and I sort of just do them off the cuff, you know. And bloody electric ran out, didn't it? So all the flipping lights went out. I was just sat here in the dark in my man cave. Right, anyway, let's talk about pricing jobs. Going round and getting work. I'm not going to go so much into how much to charge, but more so how to get the job. When you're first starting out, you tend to think it's all about the cost. You think if you don't get a job, it was because you're too expensive. And I would say that 80% of the time you'd be wrong. It's not so much about the cost. You're probably not too expensive when you're first starting out either. You're probably undervaluing yourself. The reason you didn't get the job is because the customer more than likely felt a little bit awkward. Awkward. They probably felt maybe that you weren't confident enough. These are what I'm trying to think back from when I was a young and starting out, you know, first pricing work. I was only getting about 30% of the jobs I was looking at, you know. Now, 20 years later, I'm getting about 95% of every job that I go to look at, I get. And there's a few little tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way. Now, I'm not saying that this is a complete guide. There's probably more things you can do. Maybe there's things that you can do different, but I'm going to tell you what works best for me. It's quite difficult, this, because I've sort of internalized this whole process now. I don't even think about it. It just happens naturally because I've done it that much. I've used all these little techniques that much that they just happen naturally. So I'm going to try and recall them all to mind and try and put them in a logical order for you. As I said, I don't really edit or play around with these videos because I haven't really got time and I can't really be asked. I'm a plasterer, not a flipping YouTube star, so I'm just going to spurt things out as they come to mind, things that you should take on board when pricing a job. So first things first, you've just had the phone call. The customer's made the first move. They've reached out to you. They've already picked you, so that's quite a good thing, you know. If you're phoning customers trying to get work, then you sort of on a bit of an uphill battle, if you know what I mean. Whereas if they've already phoned you, they've made the first move, they've done the biggest part. So all you have to do now is tick all the little boxes and you're in. What you need, straight off the cuff, when they call you, you're usually going to be working when they phone you, or you're usually going to be, everyone's busy doing something. No one's sat there waiting for the phone to ring. So if you don't carry a pen and paper with you, this is what I do. There's a few things you need when a customer rings you. You need their name and you need their address, because it's no good turning up at the house and, hello, Mrs. Thingy-my-bob, because I forgot your name. So you need to get their name down on a bit of paper and where they live and the telephone number. What I tend to do is, I'll be plastering away and I get a phone call. Hello, such and such here, got your number from blah de blah. I want a little job doing. And I just say, okay, not a problem. Thanks for calling. I'm right in the middle plastering now and I haven't got a pen and paper to hand. Could you please send me a text message and put your name and address on it and a brief description of the job, and as soon as I get 10 minutes, I'll put you in the diary and I'll message you back and let you know when I can pop out and see you. That's what I do usually. If I've got a pen and paper to hand, then I'll stay on the phone and I'll just get the name, the address, the telephone number, and roughly what they want doing. Make sure you get the name, it's quite important. When you address someone by the name, it really makes them feel quite nice, you know. If someone, they think you've remembered the name, but you've just been a bit smart and wrote it down, so try and do that if you can. Makes a big difference to people. Now, once you've booked them in for the quote, you're going to nip round and go and have a look at the house. You're going to go and see them, see what they want doing. Be on time. It's not hard. If you say you're going to be there at 7 o'clock, be there at 7. If 7's going to be a rush, just say 7:30. Find a time that's convenient for them and you. If it's not convenient for them, we'll do another day. But whatever you do, don't let them down. Don't be late. People hate it when you let them down. Fucking hell, if there's anything, do never do that. Be on time. And don't be early either. You know, if you're turning up at a lady's house, she's just finished work, and you said you're going to be there at 6 and you rock up at 5 because she's on the way home, well, she's having a shower, she could be getting changed, she wants you to look at the bedroom and she's still got all the washing on the bed. Just turn up at the time when you say you're going to be there. Let's move on. Be on time. Now, another little thing that I like to do is, there's one of my little tips for you. When you knock on the door, you can usually see them through the glass making their way towards the front door. You know, you see the shadow coming towards, if there's glass. Anyway, if there's not, then you'll have to just guess when it's happening. But as they are opening the door, I'm taking off my boots. My dusty plastering boots are coming off my feet. I ain't going to traipse in their house with my shitty boots on. Now, they might say to you, oh no, leave your boots on, don't worry. No, it's okay. I wouldn't walk in my house like this. My missus would give me a dog's life if I walked in with boots like this on, so I always take them off. Treat your house like mine. I've done two things there. I've shown respect for their house, and I also dropped in that my missus wouldn't let me go in my house like this. Now, me saying that, it's getting into a psychology here, aren't we? I'm not clever enough for this, but what I found is I'm putting her at ease straight away. I've got a wife, you know, I'm a family guy. I'm not an axe murderer. I'm not, you know, you don't have to, you can relax with me coming in your house, love. I've got a wife at home waiting for me, and she shouts at me for my boots, and I do as I'm told, you know. I'm a nice, easygoing guy, you know. Because, to be honest, most plasterers, we're big burly men, hairy ass builders, you know, we can be a little bit intimidating to little Mrs. Jones that's just answered the front door and you're there towering over her. Let me in, you know. So you want to sort of put her at ease. That's the main theme of this whole video that I'm going to be explaining to you about, sort of making them feel relaxed around you. It's so, so important. More important than the price. The price is this important. Making the customers feel comfortable with you is this important. So, you're on time, you took your shoes off, you're making your way in the house. Straight away, what I do is, I try and find some common ground. Oh, I've got a little dog like that. I've got a Jack Russell. My kids love playing with it. I'm dropping in little hints. I've got kids, I've got a wife. Now, I'm not lying, I have got kids and a wife. If you haven't, then you could say your friend's got a little dog like that, or your nan has, or whatever, you know. You're finding a bit of common ground to let them know that you're just a normal guy from a normal house down the road, and you know, you're safe, and you're kind, and you're easygoing, right? My nan's got a little dog like that. Oh, she has it doing all sorts of tricks, yeah. Little yapper it is, you know. Or, oh, hello, sweetheart, to the little kids. Oh, my daughter's about the same age as hers. Yeah, she goes to such and such school, you know. You're finding a bit of common ground with them. You're making them feel relaxed around you. So you're in, you've said hello, you've made them feel quite at ease with you, that you're a normal guy. You've had a bit of a chit-chat, you know. Oh, well, I used to go to school down here, or whatever. Then you start talking about the job, you know, ask them what they want doing. Now, here's another little opportunity for you to do something else. You know in your head how to do the job. You understand it inside out. I've got to do this. I've got to scrape that off. I've got to knock this loose bit out of you. Explain a bit of that to them. Explain to them a bit of your thought process. Don't be umming and ahhing, oh, I don't know how to do this. Don't tell them that. You explain to them all the different options, because there's more than one way to skin a cat, you know. oh, we could overboard it, and the benefits of that are, you get more soundproof from upstairs, it's more fireproof, and we have a nice fresh ceiling to work from. Or we could re-skim it, and the benefits of that are it saves you a bit of cost. There's less work involved, and there's less mess at the end of the job that we have to get rid of, so it keeps the cost down. What you're doing is, when you're explaining a bit of your thought process, you're confirming to them that you're an expert. You know exactly what you're talking about. You know the options. You know the pros and cons, and you're sort of letting them know. Now, you're not going to spend an hour boring them to death explaining how plaster's manufactured and flipping PVA glue is, PVA stands for polyvinyl acetate, and you're not going to go into too much detail and bamboozle them completely, but you're going to get across them a little bit that you know exactly what you're doing. So up to this point, before you've even spoke about money, they already feel like they sort of know you. They know what type of guy you are. They like you, You're easy to get along with, and you know exactly what you're doing. They feel comfortable with you in the house. You haven't just walked in, oh, all right, love, yeah, I can do that for you. 600 quid. And off you go. You're probably not going to get the job, because the guy will turn up later that does all this, and they'll go with that guy. It's a fact. I've won so many jobs, and I've been nearly double the price of some of the other guys, and they said, oh, Kirk, we went with you because we just felt, you knew exactly what you were talking about, so we just felt more trusting to go with you. It's as simple as that. Now, once you're in there, you made your friends, they feel relaxed with you. You've explained a little bit how the job's going to go down. And then it comes to actually giving them the price then. Now, some guys will go away and work it out, but I don't think that's the best way. I've tried doing that in the past, but I found that when I did that for a year, I didn't win as many jobs. So what I tend to do is give them the price there and then. Now, when we're talking about pricing, I round all the materials up to make it easy for myself. Bag of plaster is about 7 or 8 quid, 9 quid maybe, round it up to a tenner. I just round everything up to the nearest tenner. Round it up so that you're definitely in, and go a little bit extra just to make sure, I also know how much I need to earn a day. Now, everybody's different in this regard, so what you charge a day is your own business, what you actually want, what you need to earn for that day. I know I have to earn that each day for 5 days to pay my bills at the end of the month, and have a little bit to be able to, have a couple of beers and go for a game of snooker or whatever you want to do. You know what you need to earn. So I'll work out how many days it's going to take me in my head, on my bit of paper, on my little diary. I'll work out how long it's going to take me, how many days, how much I want a day, which we know, and how much the materials cost. Now, the figure you get to there, say it's 2 days and the materials, and you've come out at, you want 500 quid. Great. That is your walk away price. You can't do it cheaper than that. So keep that price in mind, right? That's the bare minimum you can do it for. Then what you want to do, now it's not ripping people off. This is business. Every business has to make a profit. How are you going to buy a new van? How are you going to buy new tools? How are you going to expand? You've got to make some profit as well as just your wages. So you've got your bare minimum walk away price in mind anyway. Now, you might think to yourself, do you know what? They're splashing out here. They're having all this work done, You could put an extra 200 quid on. Whatever. You could put 300 on. You know what the minimum price is, and you know what you'd like. Now, don't worry, because I know you're thinking, oh, they're too expensive, I'm going to lose the job. You won't. You really won't. if someone's having their house done up, they might have a budget in mind. They've got 4,000 quid to do the upstairs bedrooms, the walk-in wardrobes and all that. Now, if they like you and they feel comfortable with you and they can afford you in their budget, then they're going to go with you. You're going to get the job. So don't sort of pigeonhole yourself that I'm only worth that and that's all I can get, because there's no limits. You know, you can get a plasterer that comes along and he'll plaster your living room in a day and he'll charge you £120 for the day. And the next fella comes along and he's charging £700. They get their brand new living room and they can afford it. And the other... Here's an interesting thing as well. Little side note. You can actually lose work by being too cheap. If you're too cheap, people think there's a reason. And you can put the panic into them because they think, why is that so cheap? He must be crap. You're better off being a little bit more expensive. Now, don't worry, you're not going to lose the job. If you think you're going to scare them off, you're not, because I'm going to tell you now a few little techniques to make sure that you actually get the job as well. So, you've got your minimum price, and you've got the price that you want. The big cheese. Ooh, right. Now, what I'll do then is, I'll say, okay, I've worked it all out now. With the materials and the labour, the price I'm looking at is going to be £900. Okay. Straight away, you're going to get a reaction from them. And this is why I stay at the job to give them the price. You're going to get a reaction from them. They will either say, great, when can you do it? Which is usually what happens. Usually they'll say, okay, let's go for it. When can you fit me in? Great, good stuff, you've got the job, book them in, and away you go. Or they will say to you, ooh, okay, ooh, I wasn't expecting that much. Can I get back to you? Or they might say, ooh, I need to check with my husband. I'll phone you back. Or, okay, we've got a couple of prices off other people to go through yet. We'll let you know. All these sort of little excuses to sort of not give you an answer there and then, all basically mean, ooh, that's more than what we were hoping to pay. So here's what you do. You say to them, was that somewhere where you were thinking that price? You've just said to them, 900 quid. Oh, okay, I'll let you know. I'll speak to the wife and let you know. So I'll say straight away, okay, no problem, no panic. Was that somewhere you were thinking? Now they're going to tell you what they wanted to pay. So they might say, oh well, we had a price off someone else, and it was only 500 quid. Okay, well I'll tell you what. You are nice people, and I'm close to the area, so I wouldn't like to lose the word. I'll meet you halfway. How about you pay me £700? Chances are you'll get the deal there and then, hands shook, job done. You know your minimum price. You can always come down a little bit in price. Now, you've got to sort of do it in such a way that they feel like you're just trying to help them out, not that you were trying to rip them off. Because you're not trying to rip them off, you're just running a business, and your business has to be successful. No one runs a business at cost, year in, year out, because as soon as hard times come, you go bust. Every business has to make a profit, but self-employed people are so scared of charging just a little bit extra. That's why when recessions come, flipping people end up flipping on the dole and all sorts of things because they just can't weather the storm. But anyway, we're digressing. I'd say to them, is that somewhere where you were thinking, we'll knock a little bit of money off. How about we meet you halfway? Is that better for you? they're going to think in their head, how's he all of a sudden just knocked that money down like that? So you then say to them, look, I'll knock the money down if you fit in with when it works good for me in my diary. That's how you've got the money down, because they're going to work around you now. So they feel like you've just done them. You're doing them a favour, but they've got to sort of do you a favour to get it. That's one way of doing it. Another way would be you could say, okay, I'll do it for this price, but you have to completely empty the room for me. Now, you wanted them to empty the room anyway, but you've just made them feel like you can do it a bit cheaper, but you're going to have to do a little bit of the work, you know. You're going to have to strip all the wallpaper off for us, and I can do it for that price for you. So that's how you can bring the price down. The thing with prices is, you can always come down. It's very, very difficult to go up. It's very difficult to give someone a price and then increase it. I mean, you hear people charging extras at the end of the job all the time, and they get slagged for it. Their customers hate it when they've got a price in mind and you charge extra at the end. They don't like you one bit. So you're better off being a bit higher, and if need be, you can lower the price a little bit to tailor, to make them feel like they've got a little bargain on their hands, you know, and they've fitted in with your diary, so they're quite pleased, you know. Oh, well, we would like it done next week, but he said if we wait till the week after, he can do it a bit cheaper for us. You might not need to use that technique. Hopefully you just get the price that you want straight away, and the job's yours. Another little thing as well, you might feel uncomfortable giving someone a higher price than what you're used to giving. So here's another little trick for you. Say you want to give them a price of £700 for their bedroom. The price you would usually charge is £550. That's what you need to do that job. And you're thinking, I'm going to charge £700. All of a sudden, when you come to say it, you start panicking. You start thinking, oh, it's a bit much, it's a bit much. Double it in your mind. Double it, £1,400, £1,400. I can't say 1,400, I can't say 1,400. Just get yourself prepared to say 1,400. Build yourself up. I'm going to say 14, I'm going to say 14. Seven's easy now. Seven's an easy number to say. Now, some people might say that these are underhanded techniques. They're not. It's just, you're in business. You've got to make money. That's the whole point. You're there. You're not trying to rip people off. They can always say no. They can always turn you away. You know, what you're charging, you could get someone else to do that's on the dole for half the price. So you're ripping them off, charging them what you're charging them. They could get it done. There's always, always, always someone cheaper. You don't want to be the cheapest. Now, moving on from that, you've given the price, you've got your little techniques, so you know you're going to get straight out of them, you know. Are you happy with the price? Is that somewhere where you were thinking, oh, okay, then yeah, well, I'll tell you what, we'll meet you there, or we'll meet you there on the price. Does that seal the deal for you? Yeah, great, you've got the job. If they still are and ahhing, if they still won't give you the clear yes or no, don't badger them. Don't put them on the spot and make them feel awkward. You're making it feel like the conversation's flowing, you know. If they're adamant, yeah, well, I will speak to the wife, and then we will let you know in the future. Fine. Take all the time you need. You've got my number. If you've got any questions in the meantime, you want to know any more information, drop me a text. Not a problem. And leave them to it. Don't pressure them. People don't like being put on the spot. They don't like the hard sell. This whole process has to feel like a nice, easy, relaxed conversation with an old friend. That's how you want this whole thing to play out. Was there anything else? Oh, you've just got the job. Now, I'm going to save you a little bit of hassle in the future. So we're 24 minutes into the video now. If you've stayed this far, then you're getting the best little gold nugget now. This is something that fellas, even that have been in the game for years, still struggle with. And I've got an ace little technique to nip it in the bud. You've just got your job. You've done the job, and it's time to get paid. Ooh, they haven't got the money. Oh, can we transfer it? Yeah. Oh, what about this? Loads of little things, and it's just hassle for you. You don't know when your money's going to come through. You're checking your internet banking. Have they paid me yet? Are they going to pay me? You know, is the cash here? Is the cash there? Am I going to get a check? You cut all that hassle out. When you're pricing your job up, you've made the deal. They're happy. You're happy. We've booked you in. We'll see you on such and such a date between 8 and 9 in the morning. And as I'm leaving, I've just said to her, as I'm on my way out the door to put my shoes back, I'll say, oh, by the way, just out of interest, how are you planning on paying me? And then they will say, oh, we can do bank transfer, or we can write a check, or we can pay you in cash. You know, usually they'll give you a couple of options, and you say, oh, it's okay. Bank transfer is fine, or cash is fine. It's just I don't take checks anymore. Checks are a hassle. Stay away from checks. People write them wrong and they bounce and all sorts of stuff. Doing this video and people are calling me. Just give me 1 second. I'm getting phone calls as I'm doing the video on my flipping phone. Yeah, so, oh, how are you planning on paying me? And they'll say, we can do bank transfer, or we can get you the cash. Great, okay. I'll be finished on Wednesday. Would you be able to have the money ready for them for me? Or would you be able to transfer the money to me that day? Just so I can settle accounts and pay the lads or whatever, you know. Yeah, that's fine, Kirk. Yeah, great stuff. We'll do that for you, no problem. Done. That's it. That cuts out all the hassle after you've done the job. Because once you've done the job and then you stood around, should we ask them for the money or when do we get paid? You know, it's all done. It's already sorted. They've already told you they're going to pay you when you're finished. So you know the money's coming. That might seem like a simple thing, but you wouldn't believe me how many fellas struggle with that. They've just finished. When do we get paid? Who knows? Loads of times people have left jobs and they say, oh, we'll transfer you the money over, leave your details. 4, 5, 6 days later, a week later, no money. No timescale was agreed. It's like a guessing game. So, I mean, and then if you've done 4 or 5 jobs like that, then you're forgetting who owes what and who's paid, and just get paid at the end of the job with that simple little technique. Ask them how they're paying, and then agree that they will pay you when the job's finished. So, you know, I don't want nothing up front. I don't need any deposit or nothing. Just pay me when the job's done, but we'll be done on that day. Oh, talking about deposits, we're going off pricing jobs now. I'm just gonna another little tip for you. Deposits, I don't really take them. I don't like taking any money up front. The whole thing for me is, you know, they trust me, I should trust them. If I don't feel comfortable with the person I'm pricing the job for, then I just don't do the job. I just look at it, speak to them, yeah, and I get a bad vibe from them, you know. If I get a bad vibe from them, trust your gut. Trust me. If they seem like they are nightmare people, then they're probably going to be more hassle than they're worth, you know. Not that you're going to do any bad work, but look, the job's hard enough, plastering's hard enough without them being an absolute nightmare as well. So if you can avoid nightmare customers, then do. If you're desperate for the work, then you have to just get on with it. Oh, wait there a second. I've got a visitor coming in. Let me just let me put you on pause a second. Hello, Isabel.
Hello.
Oh, there we are. It was me. Oh, she's.
Sorry.
Dude, shut the door, please. I'm trying to bloody do a video here. Just give me a minute. I'll be out in a bit. It's my daughter bringing me my little lad because he's terrorising his mum. Apparently, he's not giving her a minute to bloody think. So he's in here in the man cave with his dad now. Right. So yes, you've locked in. You know when you're going to get paid now. Everything's wonderful. Once you've left and you get home, send them a follow-up text message just so it's all confirmed on writing. When I get home, Hi, Mrs. Jones, Doreen, Jackie, or Steve, or whoever it was that you've been out to see. Just following up. Absolutely lovely to meet you tonight. Hope you're happy with the price. Looking forward to seeing you do the job on such and such a date. We will arrive at 8 in the morning or whatever time you're going to arrive. Total cost is X amount. Hope that's okay. We don't hope that's okay, but you know, you're just going to put a nice little text message with all the details on it. I'll see you there. I'll see you then. That way, they've got it in writing on their phone what the price is and when you're coming. You've got it in writing. There's no woman and ahhing. We're all clear on, you know, living room ceiling, living room walls, and the patch in the hallway, and price, and away you go. So that's it, guys. I know it's been a bit of a long video, but I wanted to try and get as much in there as I could think of. Just to recap, show respect for the house, be on time. When you go in there, find a bit of common ground, let them know that you're just a normal fella, they can trust you, you're a nice guy. Show a bit of knowledge, a bit of expert knowledge, so they know you know what you're talking about. Price yourself in fair, so you've got... Don't take this information and think you're going to go around ripping people off. Yeah, people aren't going to pay extreme amounts of money, but make a little bit of profit. Every business has to make a little bit of profit. It's not about being a con man or anything like that. It's just making sure that you can afford to stay in business in the future. Make sure you're going to get paid on time, on the terms that you want. You can have your own terms. You can say, look, you know, we've got a 7-day cooling off period and whatever, you know, pay us at the end of the month or whatever. That's up to you, but agree it first so that everyone knows where they stand and there's no guesswork involved, you know. When you go, send them a little follow-up text message, tell them it was lovely to meet them. Follow them steps, you ain't going to go far wrong. It works for me 95% of the time. There's always going to be the person that wants the cheapest of the cheap and they're just trying to drive the price down. They ain't your people. Don't chase after them. If they want blood for pennies, there's more work out there. Go and find a better customer. Simple as that. If you follow them steps, you should have great success. If you've got any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Leave them in the comments. But me and the little fella we're done for the night. We're going to go and watch a bit of telly, I think, aren't we, mate? Hey? Cheers, guys.